Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Just wanted to jump on, give you an update on Tropical Storm Beryl, and figured, while everybody's kind of joining up here, we will take a look at a couple of cameras because it looks cool. Got some upper level clouds. This is like the blow off, like the cirrus anvil that comes off the top of a thunderstorm from the Leesville camera, and you can just see some cool waves underneath that and everything. And then looking westward from the Cenla Broadcasting Tower, we've got a little isolated storm out there here in Alexandria. I'm going to show you radar in just a bit, but I wanted to go and jump right into what's going on with Beryl. Right now, no strengthening here. You can see, though, that we've seen thunderstorms persist throughout the day, and kind of contradictory to what you would typically think. You usually see what we call convective minimum during the day. You see these thunderstorms ramp up overnight. So we're not seeing that today. We got out here, got some dry air on the south side, still some wind shear from the south at about 15 knots, but Beryl has been really holding strong here as this continues toward the northwest, and I believe that updated path was at 310 degrees. Let me check this out here. 310, yeah, at 13 miles per hour, and I'll show you that in just a second. But yeah, we've got a system that's organizing here steadily and slowly, and now the conditions improve tomorrow morning, so we're going to see this most likely increase fairly rapidly. We have a plane going in a couple hours. Well, the government does, not me, but yeah, you get the idea here. Things are looking like Beryl is probably going to at least hold its own for now and probably strengthen as we get into tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to go over and show you something on radar. I don't want you to be confused by this because you're not seeing much here, but if you look, you've got Brownsville. Let's see. I'm going to measure it. So from Brownsville, roughly around here, to the center, or roughly around here, we're about 305 miles out. So that is just a rough estimate here. Now, let me show you something. When I go back to Lake Charles, because the Fort Johnson radar is out right now. So when I go up here, and if I were to go and measure a distance from that radar site, let's see, where is it? Right there, roughly. Okay. So if I go 305 miles away here, we're up at Meridian, Mississippi, and we are shooting up at about 58,000 feet into the sky, 56 to 58,000 feet. So that's why we're barely seeing anything on radar right now. We're shooting way, way high in the sky because the radar beam tilts upward. So that lowest tilt is only catching the very top. Now, what that shows me is this is pretty impressive stuff because while we have our couple of storms here, nothing too crazy there, so we can go back and show you what we're kind of illustrating on this radar down here. And then this is just the composite of all the radars in the country. But you see there is actually lightning, a lot of lightning around that center. And those cloud tops are pushing above 60,000 feet. So some very what we call hot towers, cold cloud tops. And this is going to continue to move at about 315. So pretty much due northwest and maybe even turn a little more to the north. So as that happens, we're going to get a better view from the radar here in Brownsville, and then eventually Corpus Christi. So we should get a better view of that tonight, but that's why you're not seeing a lot of things on radar right now. Now back over to, let's go to the path. So we've already seen the satellite. There we go. So Beryl, I'm going to click forward on this. And winds at 60, gusting to 70, pressure holding steady around 997. They're not going to change that because the plane has not gone in there yet, not yet this evening. It went this morning. And you can see now the landfall forecast to be somewhere, let's see if I can zoom in on this. I can. Look at that. Around just east of Victoria, Seadrift, that area. Now, the center relocated a bit further north, so this is going to be a little bit sooner, perhaps. Let's see, that's the 1 p.m., the 1 a.m. Monday, possibly as soon as just after midnight if it's a little further west. If it's a little further east, this could be closer to 6, 7 in the morning. But it looks like somewhere between about 3 and 5 a.m. on Monday is the best chance for landfall. And that's going to be somewhere right here in the Matagorda Bay. So it's pretty consistent on models from what I've been seeing here lately. The GFS shows a pretty good tail here with the the storm coming up in just west of Houston. As we continue on into the future, what I'm going to be watching is this band right here, because some of the higher resolution models are coming in now. I'm seeing some pretty extreme wind shear values. So if we get those thunderstorms to form in that band here on the southeast side, there will be the concern for some severe weather. We are at a marginal risk for Monday. I think that could be extended into Tuesday. But I'm also seeing that more of these models are moving things on a bit. So it looks like this probably doesn't just stall out and sit to our west or north for a couple of days. We'll keep rain chances in the forecast, but I think Monday and Tuesday are going to be the big days around here, and that's when we could possibly see that severe weather, with the main threat being isolated gusty wind, but the main threat really being those isolated tornadoes that are so common on the east side of tropical systems. And of course, we'll be watching that very closely, and it's track dependent, and then it's dependent on where we get these thunderstorms to fire up on the eastern flank. But a lot of these models are showing East Texas, West Louisiana. That's kind of your best chance. So that's our main concern locally. Look at how tightly clustered those models are. I mean, right up the Matagorda Bay, pretty easy forecast for NHC right now. Should we see a little bit of a center relocation to the north, it could move a little to the right. If we see it relocate to the west, it could move a little to the west. But I mean, no distance there across that. That is as close as I've ever seen spaghetti models this far out, and we're a couple of days out. Now, the typical error is one category. So if you have a category 2 forecasted at landfall, a 1 to a 3 is what you plan for. And this one, they have it at a high end 1. So you want to plan for that 2 if you're down on the Texas coast. And then about a 50 to 60 mile spatial difference on the coastline here. So anywhere from Corpus up to Lake Jackson, Bay City, that area, southwest of Houston, that's where we're looking at the potential for landfall. Now, I think we're going to see some breeze here, but we're not going to see the real gusty winds apart from those supercells if we get those to form on the eastern side, which I think we will. But it looks like some pretty decent wind. These are tropical storm force winds, and this is forecast pretty much from Houston down through Corpus Christi. Going to be some wind and most likely some power outages, because this is forecast to become a hurricane. And I think if we see that inner core starting to organize tonight, as we've already kind of seen things starting to try and come together today, I don't want to say all bets are off, but the forecast of an 85 mile per hour hurricane at landfall, I get it. But I do think you need to plan for the potential of this being stronger if you're down that way. Now, for our impacts here, this really is not going to matter. We're going to be more onto the track and seeing exactly where this comes in and where we get that feeder band that comes in and produces all those supercells that are probably going to occur somewhere in East Texas or West Louisiana. And I'll show you a little idea of what we're going to see over the next 48 hours through the HRRR model. We should get some storms into the area tomorrow. In fact, I think we'll have a better coverage now tomorrow than today. We really kind of got off pretty easy today, just some scattered stuff. Could still see a few storms out there, but you can see here as we look further out to the west and Texas, that's when Beryl's really going to start coming in here. We have landfall probably about 12 hours before this, and this model as of this point is keeping those big supercells out to the west, but when this starts to turn to the east, I think we'll get more of that to get into our area. So Monday evening into Tuesday, that's going to be our best chance for some heavy rainfall and potentially some severe weather as well. So that's pretty much the latest on Beryl. Let me get you back to we'll go to this one. Oops. Just show you a recap of what we have going on with Beryl. Tropical storm with 60 mile per hour winds. I'm just going to go through it quickly there. There's your track. There we go. So category 1 is forecast at landfall. I would not be surprised at all to see this at category 2 at landfall. If we get that core to organize, we'll be watching that closely is all I'll say. So I don't foresee this blowing up into a 5 or something crazy, but I could see higher than a 1. And then that's going to move into the north, turn to the northeast, bring us our best chance for rain and thunderstorms likely late Monday into Tuesday, and then this gets out of here on Wednesday and leaves us with typical summer weather with scattered storms and maybe a couple of heavy rain showers. It was 3.5 inches of rain at my house last night, so we're good on the rain. Tom's putting together that list. He said I was barely sneaking into the top 10, so I know a lot of you had some rain from those incredibly loud and electrified storms that we had last night. Tonight, I don't expect a repeat of that, but I do think things are going to be pretty busy through Monday, Tuesday, and I'm going to be sitting here watching it with you. And Tom's going to be on later, I think at about 6 with his 7-day forecast update and some of those rainfall totals and everything. But yeah, just wanted to jump on and to give you guys an update here. Have a wonderful Saturday evening. I'll update things via text and all that stuff on social media, and then I'll see you back. Probably going to do at least some sort of quick update before church in the morning, and then I'll do another one in the afternoon tomorrow, doing 2 a day. Unless we were to get an eastward shift, then I would do even more. But for now, I will see you later. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.